We can keep this. If I trade 6-mana Ugin, I think that card's also kind of mediocre. I would play like probably any number of Worm Coil over it. And I am interested in playing some number of Worm Coil for sure. So like maybe like a split of Golos and Worm Coil. If you're playing Golos and Cataracts as a track's worth it? Definitely not. Definitely not. Oh, Stone is much better against Moon. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, getting Death Touch for players here. Wait, I'm a player. Oh, and they got rid of a land. That was rude. Death Touch for players? I'm a player. That's me. I think the Fiend Artisans are going to be like somewhat premium. Actually, just get another Swamp here. But no. But also like I could maybe get lucky and like Scissor Supplier over 2 creatures if they had Holy Heat. So I kind of like the idea of playing this, but and I have a second one in hand. Probably should have just got Stomping Ground. Definitely worried about my life total though. What spells start hitting the meta? All the 2-mana spells. Renin 6, Iteration, Counterspell, Ledger Shredder, Stoneforge Mystic, Pure Steel Paladin, Persist, Goryo's Vengeance, Eidolon of the Great Revel, Underworld Breach, Sprite Dragon, Fiend Artisan, Devoted Druid. And also, like, here's like also the thing that I think a lot of people may have forgotten about Spell Snare. But Spell Snare is like really good every single time you cast it. Every single time you cast it, your opponent has spent 2 mana and you've spent 1 mana, and it's just like, wow, that's a damn good deal. I'll take that deal. I would love to take that deal. Yes, thank you, Spell Snare. I love you. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if they kill the priest, it's unheatable too. And you compare that to Minor Misstep, which is like, oh no, I'm on the draw. I'm on the draw. I can't ever cast this card this game. So again, you can't always cast Spell Snare, but every single time you cast Spell Snare, it's a good trade for you. Do they have Delirium? Actually, they don't, right? Oh, they do. They do. Alright, well, I'm gonna high upside this, I guess. You can Minor Misstep a Dash Ragavan. That's the only time it ever trades up on mana. But there are a lot of 1-mana cards that answer Ragavan. I think I may Violent Priest on my upkeep, then take the Vial up to 3 so I can Violent Daredevil next turn. Which seems like something I'm interested in doing with priests. Oh, they didn't have Delirium. I was somehow wrong about that. You'd think I would just be able to look at the board, huh? Ah! What is that doing there? Don't hate it, actually. Pretty good against my priest. Tick up. Okay, so I can Fiend Artisan the priest into an Asmo, potentially. I can also attack for 7 and do nothing else, which I don't love. Yeah. I did want to... I mean, I guess I could still theoretically, like, eventually Fiend Artisan for another. Probably never happening, though. Although we can, yeah, I could, maybe it is happening because we get to like Vial in the Ovalchase Daredevil, second the Fiend Artisan if we want. Another Asmo. Dude, I got hit by Ragavan twice and I am still here. I'm still standing after all this time. Ah, maybe not standing. I'm super dead to Murktide Regent. Exile Lightning Bolts. It's actually pretty fine if they don't follow up with Land Murktide. I'm going to go ahead and Daredevil and F6 and take 5 or 6 down to 6 or 7. Then I can Vial into Daredevil, Asmo, second Cookbook, kill Shredder. You feel like a better Magic player paper online? I mean, online probably, since I play online like a million hours a week and almost never paper these days. I used to feel the opposite, but I don't know. I also feel like my my mental game, my tournament game has been pretty down lately. Just hold up counterspell, opponent. Just hold up counterspell. I know you love to hold up counterspell. Yeah, I did consider Steel Seeker. You don't have as many artifact enablers here, but you could play it. No Channeler is nice. Okay, so take up the Vial to 4. Oh, sorry. I guess I should have discarded first, but I'll just go ahead and do this, where I sack, get an Asmo, and then I cast the Cookbook, and they won't be able to kill this before me killing. I can kill the Ledger Shredder. Also, my decision to fetch a basic instead of shocking, I think ended up being really relevant, weirdly enough. They have 2 cards in their hands. They shouldn't be able to save the Shredder. They might be able to kill my Asmo. That's also okay. I have 1 more Asmo in the deck, which means next turn I can kill a Murktide next turn if I need to. They have a Murktide. Consider playing the first Chris over the 4th Tyvar. Maybe not. I would consider it. I don't think I would. But I think that the first Grist is like, I'm not like super opposed to finding room for Grist in here. Could have shocked to eat food. I don't want to eat food. I want to be able to Violent Daredevil, get another Asmo, make 3 foods, kill Murktide. I do think they have a counterspell, and as good as Tyvar is, I think that taking the line that plays around counterspell is pretty good. Because if them just countering my Cookbook is game over here. They will be able to put me down to 2 life. Oh, what am I talking about? They still just counter the Cookbook. I guess it doesn't matter either way. I'm dead to a counterspell. Why should have Tyvar'd? Yeah, I'm dead either way. Bummer. Souls Run later. I think if I do a Souls Run later, it'll be... I'll just go live later and not have it connected to the stream. But it'll still be today. Brutal. Close game. If we win the die roll, we probably win that one. Let me cut 2 priests. Did Gamba get paid out? No, it didn't. Think there's any room for improvement in Golgari Yawgmoth? Of course. There's always like room to work on any archetype. This is one of the best things about Modern, and something that like I don't think I've heard anybody say this besides me. Although I'm sure other people have. What's awesome about I need to bring in a needle. Hold on. For hearse explosives. Every single there's like not a single deck in Modern, with maybe the exception of Burn, that you have the player base of that deck, the player group of that deck, completely agreeing on the deck list. Murktide, Creativity, Scam, Hammer, Control all have tons of different like techie cards and subversions and disagreements on how to build it. Even Yawgmoth, despite being one of the more stock deck lists, has like tons of differing sideboard options. Like disagrees on like Prospector in the main deck, the Soul Sister 1-mana card in the main deck, Number of Endurance in the main deck. There's like lots of like Blood Artist versus Zulaport Cutthroat. There's a lot of like conversations to be had. And I think that's great. I think it's one of the best things about the format. I think Fiend Artisan is kind of antithetical with the fact that it becomes a giant creature that you don't want to attack with because you want to activate the ability. I mean, you attack when it's correct and you don't attack when it's not correct. I think it's nice that you have the option. I don't think, not that serious, right? Gosling, 19 months, okay, thank you. Mill is pretty uniform. I think that's like 100% not the case. It just had it just got Jace, and I think the lists are like not completely tuned. I think like there's a lot to talk about, like number of surgical extractions in the main deck. I think that like Mill is like there's like a stock Mill deck because like besides like Demonic Tutors, like there's just not very many people working on the Mill deck. You know what I mean? That's honestly my take, is there's not a lot of people working on the archetype. I think most people just copy Demonic Tutors or somebody else's list. Oh, I should have got fetch the Stomping Ground with this, maybe? Just get a swamp. Innovate a Mill. I mean, we have tutors innovating on it. I'm also not that interested in playing it, really. But maybe at some point. I mean, the Daredevil was a really nice draw, but I also had like several looks at the Daredevil with a Supplier too, but it was a good draw for sure. Heard there's like a Mill Players Discord server. Yeah, apparently there's a Discord server for all of the archetypes, and boy, does that sound like a interesting place. I'm sure like the different Discords have. I'm sure some of them are good. I've never really like used Discord like that. Like, hey guys, what's up? I've got this new tech for the Mill deck. It's Tomb Scour. It's 1 mana Mill 5. It's really mana efficient. Here's my 5/0 deck list. Here's my FNM tournament report. It was a little bit before my time, all that kind of stuff. There's Tear for Zombies. Was there a big drama there, perhaps? The Mill, or the zombie Discord splintered into 7 factions after Pyre of Heroes was released. Never to be the same again. Could not attack with this in case they kill my Asbo dash Ragavan. I actually feel like that's likely enough that that's going to be what happens, that I will just leave this back. Like, I think it's very likely that this Asmo's dead, and so like if this Asmo's dead, I want to leave this back. The drama was that no one knew about the other one. The other does died out. Big drama, indeed. Notably, they didn't Spell Pierce a cookbook. They are getting a lot of more looks at a Spell Pierce, but there's a good chance we get this Tyvar down. Aha! Ragavan. Resolves. I guess I'm going to play Saga here. If I mill over Fiend Artisan, I'm going to Fiend Artisan instead of Asmo here. So I don't have the black mana up. Called shot, baby. Called shot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go discard, discard, and then I'm just going to leave the Daredevil in the graveyard after the last discard so that my Fiend Artisan is a 7/7 and it can't be heated. Sounds about right, Horsesuit. It's a pretty good turn. Yeah, being able to attack with the Fiend Artisan on top with Tyvar activated again seems pretty exciting as well. Only have one Asmo left in the deck, but I can get it this turn by going attack, make a token, sack the token, untap it, sack the token. Alternatively, I could... I guess I don't have a land drop for the Bloodghast. But I could just make a token. Could just make a token, huh? Why do we buy cards rough times? Well, you can save money with the EveryPlate sponsorship that we'll be unboxing tomorrow. It's like $1.49 a meal, and that will give you all the with all the money you save. Think of all the cards you can buy. How's Priest felt? Priest has been okay. Not as good as Fiend Artisan, for sure, but okay. Fits in the archetype pretty well. I've been thinking that you could build the deck differently. One thing I've been thinking is I wonder if you could build a deck like as a Vengevine focus shell. I think that probably no is the answer, but you're so close to like wanting Vengevine because like the self mill makes your Fiend Artisans really big, and you're playing Sister Supplier, and you have Cookbook to discard Vengevine, and Tyvar mill stuff over. And you could be like you could be like just black green maybe with Fiend Artisan, Sandwith Steelseeker, Vengevine. The problem, like, you might lose Unlucky Witness. You could also play like Voldaren Epicer or Insolent Neonate over the Unlucky Witness to be better with Vengevine. There's a lot of ins and outs to the case. We did attack with Fiend Artisan. We just untapped it with Tyvar. So yeah, my opponent's at 5 life. Game 2 of my opponent's 11 minutes. Lately, I don't know what it is. All of my opponents have been playing so much slower. This has been... I haven't really talked much about it because I don't like to talk about this kind of stuff that often, I guess. But maybe that's not true. Maybe I talk about it all the time. But my opponents have been so much slower lately, and I don't know why. It's been a very constant thing lately, though. Is Intent not playable? Intent's not very good in your Aether Vial deck. I don't think that this is really a deck that wants it, at least. It's kind of a wild deck. Yeah, people always play slower against newer decks. That is true. That could be maybe what's going on. I mean, my opponent is definitely going to dress down. So I guess we'll just, like, let that happen real quick. Same here, people are playing slow. Yeah, I don't know if it's, like, the client is lagging more, but it doesn't lag on, like, you know, some systems. Like, it's not lagging on mine. Honestly, like, I don't know how I ever lose if I just put another Fiend Artisan into play here, so let's do that. Like, they can bolt the Tyvar if I wait. Oh, we have milled over Bloodghast, too. Gonna get the Spellbomb cracked as well. If you have to go like Dress Down, Brotherhood End, 3 damage, that'd also be pretty beatable. They're also at 4, and I have a Bloodghast in the yard and Bloodghast in hand I can discard. I guess a Relic would be really good, huh? But they usually play Hearse instead. What do you use food tokens for? Just the construct from Saga? You sack them to Asmo, they grow your constructs, and that's it. Asmo kills your opponent creatures with them. Alright, fair enough. That's how we lose. I haven't had all 4 cookbooks in play. I guess I have had it a couple times. Can't even get a cookbook. Pretty bad. Leave 1 Daredevil to in the graveyard to pump Fiend Artisan a bit more. There's no reason to do that. Like, the Fiend Artisan, it's an 8/8 against the Murderous opponent with no Delirium, and they're at 5 life. You know what I mean? Thought they would have cracked explosives in the turn. I think they have to be scared of the Bloodghast, though, is the thing. They have a Bloodghast in the yard, and they're at 4. They're dead to another one. I need more food. I need it. We're cooking. Let me cook. Yeah, we'll also be able to get in the yard. But that is something you can consider in general. Okay. I'm going to attack for 3. Wow, Odawara. So if my opponent has a counter spell, I imagine that they'll counter Asmo. Although I guess I can just I can play the Vial because that Vial's in the Asmo. But I guess this doesn't play around a counter spell all that well. I don't think I'm supposed to play around a counter spell here. I mean, the green splash is for Tyvar. And then we have Haywire Mites also. 2 mana, 11/11. With utility. Okay, but they can bolt it after Dress Down. Pretty cool that my opponents had, like, double Dress Down, explosive, snare, double iteration. I guess only 2 creatures, though. But look at this pile of spells they cast this game. It's hard to even feel like, oh, but they didn't cast Murktide because I would have loved for them to cast a Murktide and let me Asmo it. Is the red just for Witness? Yeah, the red is just for Witness. Witness is like really, really, really good in this deck, though. And of course it's modern where like it doesn't cost you anything to splash a color most of the time. And then like your red land, like your Stomping Ground cast Asmo also. But like Witness is better than anything else you can play, I think. Huh. I mean, they're dead to a land. Alright, I guess, okay, I'm not gonna make more food. They're just gonna die. Never mind. I'm not gonna make more food. I stop. I rest. I rest on a grateful universe here. Any thoughts to Dryad Arbor Fiend Artisan? Dryad Arbor, I hate it. I wish I could go back in... If there's two things I could do to go back in time, it'd be stop Dryad Arbor from ever being printed, and then stop Wizards from writing turn 4 format in their ban announcement. If I could just do those two things, we could fix the timeline. Yeah, I'm waiting on the Asmo here so that way I can kill 2 creatures if they play a second creature. Yeah, we haven't drawn a land in like the 6 turns with them being at 4, 2 Bloodghast in the yard. It's okay though. But it's like, again, like what's so... Dryad Arbor is a card that Twitch chat can suggest, and they get to feel like a genius when you get to feel so smart when you suggest Dryad Arbor. But I'm the one that would have to put it in my deck and lose like every game that I draw it. And that's just not a price I wanted to pay. Okay, now they have Hearse for the Bloodghast, which is bad. But they also still need a way to answer this Artisan. No, it is good at Yawgmoth. I think Yawgmoth is like the rare exception to like, you know, my hatred or whatever. All right, I actually I'm not really sure. They have to have Dressed on 3, right? Dressed on 3 is the only way they survive, which just seems so tough. All right, tough game, but it's on 6 minutes on that clock too. Seeing 2 explosives, I'm definitely going to be kneeling that more aggressively game 3. Could even bring in a second needle to name Hearse and explosives. Maybe Priest is just so bad on the draw I can do something like this. Should have done that play second main to play around just on 3. Yeah, I guess so. I would think Dauthi's good in the matchup. Dauthi is, like, I think just not good against a deck playing 8 1-mana red removal spells. Especially on the draw. Is Cretu playing a track-sensitive Archon? I think that sometimes they play the first one. I would be interested in, like, seeing how the first copy plays. Being legendary makes me, I think, only want to play one, so I can rely on putting multiple creatures in play. Alright, keepable hand. Gonna play Supplier if they play Ragavan, Cookbook if they play anything else. Not anything else. If I draw a Vial, I'll play Vial on turn 1 though. Okay, drawing that, I'm just gonna get basic Swamp. I'm definitely looking to mill over creatures since I'd like this like Fiend Artisan to be like 4/4 next turn, but I didn't mill over any creatures on the first ETB trigger. And the second one, I'm milling over 2 creatures. Perfect. So it'll be a 4/4. I'll have to say no to Bloodghast's ability this turn, which is bad if my opponent like hearses me. But I think the Fiend Artisan being able to block the Ragavan is probably more important than playing around like top deck Hearse, because if they didn't have Hearse this turn, they won't have it next turn. Love for them to go like fetch Island, cast Shadowspear. That'd be really good for me. We're getting spell snared. Okay, we've been spell snared a few times today. Huh. I mean, I did all this work to play around Bolt, so I'm gonna do this, I think. Could be better to go Cookbook Asmo, but that's worse against Bolt and Spell Pierce. Fiend Artisan's been awesome here. I'm definitely interested in exploring, like, so I tried, we talked about this yesterday, I was trying to blend the Devoted Druid and the Food archetype with Tyvar, and I was getting a little, I felt like there was like too many moving pieces. I don't know if you can or if you should include Fiend Artisan there, but I'm gonna keep working on that and see if it's possible to to marry those two archetypes. Okay. Honestly, as far as dress down goes, it's like not getting much better for us this game than like that exchange. Hearse is really bad for me though. I like even like one more turn on the Hearse would have been great. Although maybe now I get to resolve Tyvar. Although my Fiend Artisan is certainly much worse with this Hearse in play. Let me instead, while my opponent's Hearse is tapped out, let me just get an Asmo with 2 foods in play and a second cookbook started so that my second Asmo will be better. I think I like this line more, even though it means I'm not like Tyvaring back my Fiend Artisan. I think my Fiend Artisan is just not like that good with the Hearse in play. Okay, so behind the time. I don't know, all my opponents like this week have been like, I would say that I've had opponents 10 minutes plus behind on time like 3 or 4 times a stream, every stream this week. Which has been so weird. Okay, well, I do have a forest in the deck for the Tyvar, I suppose. Can start casting Daredevil. Yeah, I'll cast a Daredevil. Discard Daredevil. If they Hearse, I'll discard in response. But now I'll just cast the Daredevil. Drew second Swamp. Not the basic I wanted, but this does let me cast Fiend Artisan at least. So we draw that. Yeah, it could be a lag issue. Although I will say this, like are y'all experiencing lag? Because there's a lot of people going, they might be experiencing more lag. There aren't a lot of people. I haven't seen anybody go, I am experiencing more lag. And surely we'd be seeing that, right? Because I'm not. And again, surely we'd be seeing more comments like that if that was what was going on. A little? Okay, there we go. Good feedback. Thank you for the feedback. They... Was that a misclick on the Hearse? I'm not sure what that was. A lot of new returning players approach her. Maybe. Hard to say. And maybe I'm just... It could also be just like, you know, when you play as much Magic Online as me, like some amount of the time, you're gonna play against slower players. And when you play as much as me, sometimes it's gonna happen this often. But a lot of other people have been saying it's been happening to them too, so I don't know. Thunderbolts. Go, Ovalchase Daredevil, go! Only you can defeat Murktide. I think I'd rather play the Artisan than the other cookbook here. I did feel like I was gonna get spell snared though. I didn't say it out loud because I didn't want to jinx it, but I could kind of feel it coming. Yeah, 8 damage. 3rd iteration in a row. Their clock is a big issue, though. I'll concede if I'm 100% to be dead, but I'm going to be hard to convince me when I'm like this ahead on board and they've got 1 minute, 18 seconds. Another thing, too, is like, you know, my opponent's speeding up now, so, you know, maybe a newer player for sure. Almost definitely overreading it no matter what. I think my opponent is dead. Why concede? I think it's like a nice sporting gesture that makes the Magic Online and modern community better to concede when you're 0% to win, but your opponent's going to time out. I think it's like a nice, like fun thing to do for your opponents, and I think that it is a nice thing to do. I feel warm and fuzzy inside when I get to do it. I would obviously love it if this second Daredevil was any other card, but I think I can keep on the draw. Alright, so I think against Colony Gardens, this is likely creativity. I would really like to get Asmo going as soon as possible so that I can start killing their creatures and stop their creativity glimpse combo. So I can stop them from glimpsing. I also like creativity players. How do y'all always have Garden into Wave Sifter? I've always been very impressed by. Ooh, that's a great draw. The ability of Glimpse players to just always have this curve. It astounds me. Yeah, built different, I suppose. Are we getting Stomping Ground here? Bam. Oh, they don't have third land plus force plus garden plus wave sifter. So that's nice. I think I want to get Cookbook over Aether Vial here. I will just kill the token and get in for one. I'm killing the token no matter what for more damage. I guess they're never chumping, but it doesn't really matter. So that's another clue. Now they don't have that many permanents in play, and I can kill some stuff. And maybe I should Asmo my own Witness so I could try to Tyvar this turn. That's probably correct. Could also play Priest. I think I'd rather Tyvar. Love to put a Fiend Artisan into play. No, but Priest is pretty good too, especially with double Supplier. Lucky me, no third land. Very lucky me. Classic, super lucky after opponent gets very unlucky. Or as after opponent gets very unlucky after I complain is what I mean. Okay, I could go attack with 5, untap Priest with Tyvar, play second Supplier before I play my land because of Bloodghast. Although I guess if I had milled over a Bloodghast, maybe I want a Priest first so the Bloodghast could have haste. Well, I think it's the same amount of damage, but if I mill with 2 Bloodghasts, it is more damage. Milled over 1 Bloodghast, 2 Bloodghast. Okay, so it could have been more damage. And, yeah, we're going to cast Daredevil. This deck's pretty sick, although my opponent did, you know, have a non-functional draw mostly. Like the best non-functional draw you'll ever see, though. I have a couple Chalices. Thankful for that. Bring in Haywire Mite against Omniscience. Probably best to not overthink it for the most part. Something like this. I've also not attacked with Priest to get a sack trigger. That's true, yeah, that's true. Okay, I mean, this is a good hand. We're going to keep. I can go turn 1, Aether Vial, put Asmo into play. Turn 2, play Cookbook, discard Bloodghast, put the Bloodghast into play. My opponent's on a mulligan to 5. We'll see what I draw for turn. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the Saga or the Cookbook turn 1. Or so the Saga or the Swamp or another land I draw. I'm going to play the Swamp, I think. Play Saga on turn 2. They built to 5, so not super likely I get forced here. Crazy how Aether Vial like puts Asmo into play. I really like that interaction. I've tried so many. We've had a couple Asmo Aether Vial decks at this point, but there was a long time where I was like very stuck trying to find a good home for this interaction. Wow, they do have 4s. Weird. They forced the second cookbook for some reason. And I guess they're gonna try to just like glimpse for one more permanent. I know you're not currently playing. I was wondering if Tyvar, according to Rude, mana package is better than Visionary Whelmwalker. Don't play Visionary. Almost like I would never ever play Visionary. I think, but or you know, these days I would basically never play Visionary. That being said, I do think that Tyvar in Elves is good, potentially with Devoted Druid combo, but I need to play both. I've been really meaning to play both. We might play today, but probably not today. That's not actually the backup deck. Oh, I'll work on it. I promise to work on it. Yeah, I think they just glimpsed into the exact same board or close enough. Which, feels good. Tyvar plus Diamond Lion. Yeah, the problem is Diamond Lion is, like, so bad that I don't think it could really ever be a thing. I could be wrong, but typically you gotta have something better than Diamond Lion, right? Omniscience, no cards in hand. Did I board it? I almost boarded in the Haywire Mite. I was this close to boarding in Haywire Mite. Ugh. I was so close. That being said, they're not gonna have a ton of time. Get to vial that in. They could draw Emrakul, though. I might be able to beat an Emrakul. Probably not. But maybe. If they cast Glimpse, I guess I kill the agent. Alright. Do I even kill the agent here? I feel like my priest is really good. Yeah, I think the priest is probably better than a random spin permanent for them. Because like if they have Emrakul in play, I can make them sack it. I think Tyvar will eventually find a home in a deck that becomes a modern mainstay. It seems like it needs exploration. Tyvar is a really, really good card. Tyvar is definitely like powerful enough to be a modern staple. Modern is also like such a powerful and complicated format that, and also like, you know, despite there being lots of good, like even if there's a really good Tyvar deck, like there's a good chance Devoted Druid is just like a very good choice at the moment. Even if there is a good Tyvar deck, it can be a deck that people are going to be able to hate out. But also, even if there's a good Tyvar deck, it'll take 6 months for people to learn it because everyone just plays Murktide instead. Everyone just like, you know, will just play Murktide instead of learning a new deck. I'm not sure. Again, I don't play a lot of Tron, so it's hard for me to really say. But I think there's a chance that if Tron built more optimally, you could see like a lot more play than it currently does. Although I imagine the amount of Titan and Mill, I guess that's pretty bad for Tron, huh? This is a hero Aether Vial keep. Yeah, Anviltron also bad against Mill and Titan. That's okay though. Interesting draw. Definitely would like to have a Springleaf Drum. That's okay. We've been talking about this a lot. Like Tron again. I'm not sure I'm necessarily the best person to build it, but I think that like Cityscape Leveler, Golos, Spellskite, and more Ulamogs potentially are cards I'm interested in. I think Ugin and Karn 7 are two cards I would not be likely to play very many copies of. I'm going to Supplier so that my Fiend Artisan is bigger potentially. Ugin seems good. Ugin, Amen Ugin is terrible in Modern right now. I have to say it. It's just like, it's bad against like Murktide. It's bad against Hammer. It's bad against there's like creativity. It's bad against like Titan. It's just like not good against almost any deck in the format. It's like good against Yawgmoth. That's kind of it. GG's Leveler. Okay, I think I just get a second Vial here. Weird draw, of course. Oh. Alright, probably gonna lose. I wanted to play a Springleaf Drum over the 19th land, but just wasn't sure which land to cut. This is creativity. At least things get a lot better post-board. It does really look like creativity. Yeah, 2 Tyvar, 2 Saga. I know. It's okay. We'll just take the L with grace and dignity. Can also draw an Asmo. Yeah, we've played Oni Cult Anvil recently. Basic Force, probably not creativity anymore. Could still be, I guess. Yeah, I do think the first Grist is okay. I mean, I don't... People keep saying it's good with Vial. Like, having to take your Vial up to 3 can be awkward. Although you sometimes take them up to 4 anyways. I'm open to playing a Grist. I'm definitely open to playing a Grist, though. So I think I'm leaving one of the Vials on 0. Yeah, it could be Bring to Light Scapeshift. Yeah, people have said this, like Grist Tutor with Fiend Artisan, but in my opinion, in my experience, you like will almost never Fiend Artisan, spend 4 mana, put a Grist into play. I've seen some creativity decks play Forest, but yeah, I think it's more likely to be Bring to Light Scapeshift. Or just like a 4-color deck. No, but there's a Dwarven Mine. So at least we have the Orvars, huh? Do you have any interest in playing Pioneer lately? I've got like a little bit, sure, but like not so much that I have played it. A little bit of interest, but not so much that I have actually played any. Okay, I could definitely see myself playing either of those cards next turn. I milled over an Ovalchase Daredevil. Am I going to San Diego or Minneapolis? I don't know. I'm probably likely to go to one, not both. I'll leave this on 2. Take this one up to 1 now. Who needs a second land? Not me. This is not a step 2 deck, no. Sure it would be cool if my opponent would stop killing my Asmos. Yeah, unlikely to stay with any Spikeling, unfortunately. I would love to stay in all of your bedrooms, but it's probably for the best if I stay in none of your bedrooms and not be like a whoops, a weirdo. Why did I not kill Rin 6? Asmo can't deal damage to Rin 6, if that was your suggested line. Can only target creatures. Alright, I guess yeah, since we're talking about it, huh? I would play 0 copies of Card Liberated. I would play the second Ulamog over it, probably. I would also maybe be interested in Spellskite over Warping Well. At the very least, I would try it. Someone also suggested All Is Dust over O-Stone. I think like All Is Dust over O-Stone like sounds nice to me, since that gives you more turn 3 7 mana plays. I don't think I would play 4, but I would maybe do something like 2 of those, 2 or 3 Spellskites, 4th Golos maybe. Like it's tough for me to, I guess, like completely answer this deck tech, since we've already done a lot of talking today. I could still like potentially get out of this if I draw an Asmo. We've done a lot of talking today about like the way I think I might build it, and a lot of talking about how I'm not sure how to build it yet. So we can continue to kind of theory craft a little bit here, but I think for the most part my answer is still going to be I'm not 100% sure. I know I wouldn't play any Karn. I think that like you could play like a 2-2 split also, like O-Stone, All Is Dust. That could be good. Maybe the place I'd start is 0 Warping Whale, 0 Karn Liberated, 2nd Ulamog, 4th Golos, 2 Spellskite, 2 O-Stone, 2 All Is Dust. Although wait, no, you need to play 19 lands, and you need to play a Cascading Cataracts. So you have to cut one of those cards for that. I've also like loosely, vaguely interested in an Eldrazi in the sideboard for mill. Probably Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, because that seems like maybe the best one to bring in other matchups. Not 100% sure. I'm gonna keep this play Saga turn 1. So again, just some loose ideas, because like I've been saying all day, I'm not too sure. That's a great draw. Emrakul's got higher CMC for Katashas. Yeah, and also like I would be like relatively happy to have access to an Emrakul post board against 4-color and blue-white, or like more so blue-white. 4-color is probably a pretty good matchup, but blue-white can be kind of tough. But maybe it's not as good against blue-white as they think, because they have a lot of exile-based removal, but maybe that's the case for all of them. Maybe play like Kozilek instead. When you drag the window to and from the stream, so I have to click to something else. I'm sorry that happens. Thank you for your patience. Draken 17 months, hope you're doing well. Pretty sure we're getting an Aether Vial. Casting a Tyvar because we won't have the mana to do it next turn. Might get countered, but that's okay. Gonna plus this now so it doesn't die to a bolt. Voidwalker does not stop creativity from triggering. I don't know my phones. I'll turn off the buzzing. Wait, did they just like Fetch Shock do nothing? What the hell? Whoa. Why would you do that? Yeah, boarded into Shadow. Holding a Binding? Well, if they had Binding, they should have cast it, I think. There's a good chance we can rule out Lightning Bolts if they let this connect. So let me just catch this in, or like just try to high roll a creature here. It's okay if we miss, but we're pretty likely to hit. Well, we hit Priest and Bloodghast. Actually a pretty big game. Could discard Voidwalker to Cookbook. That's true. That's true. That could have been the better line. Alright, hopefully they don't put like a Trax into play. Who cares about that? I have a freaking Priest of Forgotten Gods in play. I guess I didn't need to leave this on 0. I haven't Voidwalkered an Emrakul in a long time. Too bad I don't have the Tyvar in play to do it immediately. If I could have kept Tyvar in play, though, we could have done it immediately. We could do it next turn, hopefully. I guess we could draw Tyvar off Priest also. Can just kill with food. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is better, though, than that. Like, why would I Asmo for 18 over just Priest? I guess I keep the Asmo, sure. Yeah, maybe keeping the Asmo's better. Okay, I'm gonna go up a Priest if they are. I think that they also have Archon in their deck and that they boarded in 1 Emrakul. That is the most likely scenario here. Just funny. I see. Okay. So I'll just trim another Supplier. Maybe actually cut the. Maybe I'll play 4 Priests or 3 Supplier, 3 Priests, since the Murderous Cut's like a little worse with Emrakul in the deck. Love this hand. I missed that part, Loot Pit. Makes sense. Welcome to the hand, Tyvar. Glad to see ya. No Spell Pierce. Can smell the tides turning. Alright, we'll play double Cookbook this turn, can Vial and Voidwalker next turn, potentially. This hand's really good. Shocks and Blood Crypt. A little bit worried about Prismari command now. Not better to activate cookbooks ahead of time. I don't think it matters. If you could tell me why it matters, is it because of like the Turn the Earth card? That could be a reason why it matters. They also don't have green mana up though, but they could have played a green source. Alright, probably just plussing. If my opponent plays Prismari command, I can Vial in Voidwalker and then activate it immediately. Yeah, people play Turn the Earth. It's so bad. We got someone casting against me earlier today. Alright. Loot, make a treasure. Okay, so let me go ahead and Vial in Voidwalker. I haven't Vialed in many Voidwalkers in my time. Oh, we can actually Vial in Orvar too. Not that that does anything. Go to RCQ with Creativity Pioneer. Should be pre-boarding a little for the mirror. No, not in paper, not at RCQ. Just like learn the mirror, get good. Alright, discards Persist, Scalding Tarn. So they may have had plans to persist in Archon. Well, Fairy Macabre's not very good in the Creativity deck. Yeah, but Surgical, I don't know. Anything else. Just not good enough. Yeah, my draw's been so crazy good this game. Do I have a Prismari command in response to this? I don't think so. Wasn't expecting them to bounce that one. So I could do something like attack Teferi with Voidwalker. No, why don't I just like Prismari command off Voidwalker, 2 damage to Teferi, loot with the Daredevil in the hand, reanimate Voidwalker with Tyvar, and then play Teferi. Seems pretty good. But this loot line is also even better with this new Bloodghast in my hand. So I'll go ahead and get my food tokens now. Kind of bad against Veil. It's probably okay. Alright, 2 damage. Draw 2, discard 2. Discard, discard. Minus Tyvar. Maybe I should have like tried to get back the Daredevil, the Bloodghast first because of Graveyard Hate. It's probably a bit better. Oh, I needed the Dauthi before. Right, I needed Dauthi before. Right, okay, never mind. That's okay. Don't need it to Teferi, I guess. But also, like, as far as Turn the Earth goes, people think that you need Graveyard Hate and Creativity. Like, the only time that I think that's true is if, like, you need Graveyard Hate that's good to get enough against Living End. Turn to Earth isn't. Living End is a kind of a bad matchup, but there are other cards I would play over that. You don't need, where else do you need Graveyard Hate? Like, Archon of Cruelty can just beat Dredge by itself. Sarah's Emissary can beat Dredge if you want to play Emissary. Like, you don't need Graveyard Hate for those matchups. And, like, you can play better sideboard cards against Burn. You can play better sideboard cards against Living End. Yeah, Wayline is better for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think in Modern, your like sideboard cards just have to be more impactful than Turn the Earth. Can Violin Fiend Artisan and activate it. Doesn't seem like something I need to do though. Why don't we just attack? Opponent needs a lot of removal here, and they're still like in a really bad shape, even if they have it. Opponent goes to 1. And that bolt means I can beat a Sarah's Emissary. So let's go Violin, Fiend Artisan, sack Bloodghast to Fiend Artisan, put an Asmo into play. Reanimate Shadow and kill them. I don't Shadow. Just untap Dauthi. Oh, untap Dauthi bolt them. Right. Untap Bolty, yeah. Why not untap Void Min? Just like most times where I miss lethal, it's obvious I just made a mistake there. I was also kind of like enchanted by this line. I also actually still had the opportunity to do so, I guess. Just missed it. You're going to be waiting a long time for White Bitter Blossom. Oh, that card might be better than Bitter Blossom. I mean, the tokens don't even block though, right? But they're artifacts. We get Overgrown Tomb here, I think, since I'll just Violin the Witness. Witness is my only red card. Kind of hope we're playing against Murktide. It's not Murktide though. But they don't have a land for their Rin, which I suppose is good for me. This turn I'm going to go Saga, Aether Vial, and then just Cookbook. And then we'll Violent Witness this turn, and the next turn we'll Violent Priest Witness and make a Saga token. Not sure how this matchup's going to be. We'll see. Could have Vialed and the Supplier maybe instead. That could have been better to try to find a Ovalchase Daredevil. But probably don't need to sweat too much about it. They only have 3 cards in their hand as well. Can discard the... Oh, I guess I should have already discarded the Bloodghast before I played the Saga. Second Reef, definitely reasonable. 1 land, 1 spell. Scared of Solitude here. Three cards in their hand. Hopefully they don't have Solitude white card. If I Millivore Daredevil, I'll discard the Bloodghast, I guess. Did not. Well, we've successfully untapped with Priest. I can just leave 2-1 here. Let's go ahead and just use the Priest of Felright's mana to make our Saga token. Not something I've ever said before. Milled over 2 Daredevils. So get another Cookbook, I think, over the Shadowspear. Discard Bloodghast now. Well, I guess we were also able to Vial it in. Play Verdant Catacombs, trigger the Bloodghast. Make another token. I'll be ticking the Vials up next turn. And then I think attacking Rin is fine, since like them drawing another Boseiju, which I've seen multiple main deck Boseijus recently, is a way that they could get out of this. Pretty good turn. Above average turn. Third Risen Reef. That is definitely a scary card. Still feeling ahead. Especially if we can find an Asmo. I guess I can maybe just like get back the Asmo in the yard next turn. Use the Priest mana as well. Use the Priest mana to use the Cookbook to get back Asmo, cast Asmo, or I guess cast Vial, cast Asmo. Although no Priest mana for me. So I guess I can get a Vial off the Saga. I can get a Vial off the Saga. Sack Cookbook, get back Asmo, Vial, and Asmo. And they only have 2 cards in their hand. And I can also, like... Well, I guess I can't... No, I can attack first. I just have to sack a Cookbook, too. Yeah, we should be fine. Because I have to use the floating mana. So we'll take both of these up. Just get Smear and Smash. I don't think that line is better than this one. Good draw. This line guarantees me getting rid of both Risen Reefs, and my opponent is like not gonna be able to win this game. With that being the case. Yeah, also like way worse against Solitude. And like they can chump one, take one, keep a Reef in play too. I guess they could have kept one if still if they had Solitude. Let's do this now. Yeah, their draw was definitely not... I don't know. Triple Riven Reefs is scary, but very slow out of the gate here. And they didn't have a fetch line for their Rin 6, which was big too. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 6/6. Yeah, Reef hit a lot of lands. Cool game, though. Cool game. Is there really nothing better than Lucky Witness to take us out of red? There's not. No, Witness is much better than any other card available in green or black. It also doesn't cost you very much to splash red. Witness is really, really good. It is the best 1-mana creature to sacrifice in Magic. And it is, I think, worth splashing for. Although I, of course, considered... And, like you know, basically everything else is 2 mana. That's reasonable. Interesting. Doesn't stop almost anything besides Asmo ETB. Not even Shambling Ghast. Especially not Shambling Ghast. They're probably supposed to Omnath first, right? Maybe not. Do you gain 8? No, Norn doesn't stop enchantments. Oh, okay. I thought that Norn doubled up the mana and the life gain. It doesn't do that. That's good. Stops Daredevil? Oh, huh. Weird. Wait, this isn't a permanent. Yeah, Daredevil's not a permanent, right? Or when you discard it, it doesn't get. Is it a permanent triggering? I don't know. It's weird. Oh, but the artifact is the permanent. Sure. That makes sense. That being said, I think they're still dead. They only have 1 card in their hand. Wild that they almost stabilized here. Maybe I'll bring in the Murderous Cut. I don't know. I could definitely see just cutting the Shadowspear for a Needle or a Murderous Cut. Running it back. I probably don't need the cut. Asmo should be able to kill everything. And we have Artisan to get Asmo. Guess Asmo's not great against Norn. We just have 4 food a lot of the time. I'll make it a Vial for a cut. That's probably okay. Probably okay. Taking Norn Voidwalker auto wins the game. Yeah, a little bit narrow. I mean, Voidwalker's not terrible against them though. I think that it seems like our matchup is probably pretty good overall. So I just kind of don't want to diminish the synergies, I suppose. All right, I like this. Opponents on a mulligan. Let's keep 3. It would be awesome to get a trophy with this deck. I'm trying to remember what we trophied with this season. It was the Boros Boom Bust, 8 whack, all will be 1 combo, and then wasn't there another trophy this week? But Willowgeist? Whatever creature. So I mean, Willowgeist isn't that good to sacrifice, but it is good with Daredevil and Bloodghast. I think the Witness is still better, but it is true that you getting Boseiju, getting Blooming Marsh makes the mana a lot better here too. I'd be open to it. I don't think it's a bad suggestion. Attract Sigorios. Did I trophy with it? I don't remember trophying with it. I think I had some 4/1s. I think I have 4 trophies this season. Oh no, I trophied with the Neoform deck, right? Did I trophy with the Neoform deck? I think I did. I didn't mill over Blood Artist. Atraxagoria's Ephemerate. I did, okay. Just couldn't remember. It's been a weird week. Thank you, Bro Hello. Welcome, welcome. Would certainly love to not get solituded. Although maybe I don't need to worry so much about solitude because I have Tyvar. Because I can go like cast Tyvar before I Violent Priest. And then even cast a second Priest off the mana. Potentially do something with the Unlucky Witness card. I feel like I've been liking Priest more and more as we've played today. I feel like maybe I was kind of harsh in my lens of viewing it earlier, but I think it's like starting to feel like it's deserving the slot. Do we attack first? Maybe attacking first is okay. I'm just like a little bit worried about my opponent doing anything before I get to do this, but attacking is probably fine. Okay, so we're not going to get any... we can't use the mana on this. On either of these cards, I've already played my land. But I can just go like minus, put a Fiend Artisan into play, then cast a Priest and pass. We milled over a Daredevil, which is nice as well. Pretty good, pretty good. Always fun when you play a deck like this and you're just like outgrinding the Risen Reef deck. Always feels really nice. So again, ping Tyvar. They don't ping Tyvar. Let's leave this on 2. Oh wow. It's kind of nuts. Alright, so sack these 2. Another Fiend Artisan or an Ovalchase Daredevil. Daredevil in hand. So let me just go ahead and tap this real quick. And then we can go... Second Fiend Artisan. Sack my Priest, get an Asmo. Attack and kill Renin 6, plus, and then untap the Fiend Artisan. I guess I just untap this one. The Ice Fang, I'll Asmo the Ice Fang. Binding, sure. Is Witches Oven a card you want as a 5th sack outlet for Witness Supplier, Super Saga? You could cut a land for it, your curve is super high. I'm not really interested in going down a land, honestly. We have 3 drops and we'd be down to 18 sources at that point, and 4 of them are sagas. I'm also not very interested in a sack outlet to have a sack outlet. So like, if you're playing Mayhem Devil, if you're playing cards that like you need to be sacrificing things, then that's like more valuable. But we don't like. We're not getting a lot of value off of our cookbook besides just like with Unlucky Witness. But Witness also just blocks. I think it would be not a correct addition. Oh, whoops! I was supposed to kill this already. Guess I'll respond to the fetch. Have your 4-life opponent enjoy it while it lasts. Have the Voted Druid Tyvar decks not panned out in Modern? I think that they're good. I think my opponent's going to try to hardcast Solitude, so I'm going to actually just eat my mistake and untap here. They're just going to gain life. They don't have Ephemerate, do they? I guess I can, if they ephemerate, I can still kill this, because I can... Beseiju? Beseiju is really interesting, because it gives me back my Bloodghast. Because now I could do something. Now I could go like Fiend Artisan, sacrifice Blood Artist for, or Bloodghast for Priest, or another Fiend Artisan. Yeah, let's just get another Fiend Artisan, and then plus here, play the Vial, kill Ren because they have the Beseiju, and attack them for 3. This is like a sick. Sick's really good. Hard to play though. Yeah, there was a comment earlier about like, oh, you sometimes want to attack with Fiend Artisan, sometimes want to sack something with Artisan, but you just untap a Tyvar sometimes too. We've been messed up and gave my opponent a bunch of extra life, and we're still doing pretty well. Has any opponent had Endurance Rip? We've played against Hearst a few times. I don't think we played against either of those. Rest in Peace is not very popular in Modern in general. Like, Blue-White Control is kind of the only deck that plays it. Oh, and they have a Binding. Binding double ETB trigger. Well, maybe we'll lose. They have 1 card left in their hand. They target 1 Fiend Artisan and 1 Asmo. I'm gonna take up both vials. Worst draw on the deck by a lot. Artisan is only sorcery speed. That's about having one of utility creatures. I've considered it, obviously. I've spent time thinking about utility creatures you could play, and I came to the conclusion that this is my first draft. This is my first draft, so there are some that we could consider playing, but it's much more helpful also always to be a bit more specific on those kind of suggestions, because I've thought about what we could play. Alright, so let's kill the Omnath. Play a Daredevil. Pass. Yeah, it's funny enough, I kind of wanted this in the yard anyways to hit them with for 1 extra damage, but yeah, it does turn it off. 1 mana, draw 2, Elesh Norn, amazing. I can also I can go like take up Vial, Fiend Artisan, Daredevil into a Priest, activate Priest, untap Fiend Artisan, attack with Fiend Artisan, depending on we'll see how much interaction they have. I took up my Vial. I guess yeah. Well, if they bounce my Artisan, I'm able to Violet it in, so I won't be able to attack with it, but I can still just Violet it off this one and then use it. They 100% should have attacked. Oh no, sorry, never mind. Sorry, I thought that this would survive. Never mind. They 100% should not have attacked. Good play, opponent. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. Violin the Ovalchase Daredevil first, then Fiend Artisan. Then I guess I want the blood. Oh no, well I guess this opens up. So many little misclicks here. I didn't realize Bloodghast doesn't trigger. And now I'm not able to attack. So I think I missed lethal, but happy accident, I guess. I didn't mean to click OK there, but I got a little stunned. I got a little stunned because I didn't realize that Elesh Norn turned off Bloodghast, which is why I think I made that mistake. But now we win anyways. But now we win anyways. Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually like much higher on Priest than when I started this morning. I was kind of ambivalent on it. 4-0, not playing perfectly, but very hard deck to play perfectly. Especially when this is like, you know, still early couple of leagues. Let's get a trophy prediction going. Or we'll get to it eventually, it's just gonna take time. Hopefully I can get to all the one stuff before Mom comes out though, because it's like, it doesn't feel like it's that far away, so it feels like we have a lot to do. How's Orvar good against creativity? You discard it to Archon. Okay, I was definitely worried about playing against Hammer. This is like probably your worst matchup. And we're on the draw, and we have to get them a card. That being said, they might attack into the... They might attack into the Vial. Winning game 1, though, is going to be very important, though, because of Sanctifier and Vec. Seems they've never played this matchup before. Frozen, 23 months, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Oh, they have a blacksmith skill? Well, fuck. I have a second Asmo at least. Let's just go ahead and play 2 Stitcher Suppliers. Okay, happy to mill over an Ovalchase Daredevil. Should I play a cookbook now and give them another card? I don't know. Maybe. I think yes. I think it's very close. Give him the card. They can have the card. This lets me play Supplier Cookbook next turn while also getting an activation of Asmo. Although if I kill the Sentinel, like maybe I can't really kill the Sentinel this turn. Maybe I can't play the Supplier this turn. That's probably okay. Get to Vial the Fiend Artisan though, which would be nice. Yeah, let's just go and play second Cookbook. Pay. Attack with our Asmo. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm vialing this in. I meant to tap the cookbook instead. We've mostly come to the conclusion that Bloodghast and Daredevil should come back to Norn. Oh. Weird. Moto's wrong. Okay. Norn shuts off the ETB at permanent, so Gas should come back. There's 2 conditions: a permanent entering the battlefield, and that being a trigger battlefield permanent. Well, but like, isn't like the land and the artifact, those are permanents that are also triggering the abilities, right? Or am I? That's probably like why. That's probably like the code that's affecting this. Maybe. I don't know. It's confusing. Confusing. Huh. So if they play a Pally... I think I just kill the Paladin. I think I let them equip. I can chump block a creature with a hammer on it as long as Shadowspear's not on it. And it is like, it's just an actual disaster if my opponent has a second hammer, I think, and if I kill the construct. They're equipping on the Paladin? What am I missing? Okay, I'm Sparring Spike wins! Let's go! Oh, man. Awesome. The hammer type's so hard to play. The 2-part, both entering and the triggering card have to be permanents. Okay. I would think that either one being off would not make it work. I guess that's not the case. Okay, I'm going to cut this. I guess we're cutting the Bloodghasts too. Maybe a Priest because we're down on the Bloodghast. So the Priest can be an out too. Sanctifier. Priest is probably pretty good. Got a Tyvar. I'm scared to have Priest in the deck with no Bloodghast. We still have 4 Supplier, 4 Witness, the Haywire Mites too. And Priest is like okay in general in this matchup and can be an out to Sanctifier. Alright, let's click submit here. One more game though, and we are Priest of Fell Rights, Fiend Artisan trophying in Modern. which I'd be pretty excited about. I guess I'm keeping this hands. I don't love it. What happened? My opponent equipped on the Paladin instead of their creature, and I just Asmo Paladin, and they conceded because they made a mistake, it seems. Wow, what an insane top deck. That is... This just, like, makes the hand. Priest of Fell Rites? Not Priest of Fell Rites. Priest of... so many priests. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Did I say Priest of Fell Rites? I probably did, huh? Okay, well that, you know, this is the good, that's a good card against us for sure. Do I need to main phase kill the hammer, the Sagardazade here? I'm trying to think. Okay, with the second Haywire Mite, I think my hand is good enough that I am going to take this line. I think if my hand was like not as powerful as it is, I would maybe try to like bait them into put a hammer into play, but I think with second Haywire Mite, this is fine. We do have a Pyrite Spellbomb in the deck. We have Priest of Fell Rites in the deck to potentially deal with this. And, you know, we can also just like play around the Progenitus 2/2 sometimes. I'm unlikely to play out the Supplier until like maybe I find a Priest. Let's say it again. I'm gonna go ahead and Haywire Mite this, I think. Do a response to the trigger. Not that it's too likely to stop much, I guess. I'm just gonna leave these at 2 and 1 for now. If I draw a land, I can like cookbook back a Haywire Mite, I suppose. Violet in. Back up Asmo. Abzan Griefing with Ismo and Tyvar. I guess I don't really see the appeal because Tyvar works really well with 2 mana creatures and Griefing is a 3 mana creature. Well, it seems likely they have a hammer in their hand, and not much I can do about that. I suppose, Fiend Artisan another Haywire Mite into play after taking 12. Stupid Sanctifier in back. Worth it to double discard to kill the Paladin. This is a Sanctifier in back. What are we talking about? This? Are you from the future? What the heck? Can you tell me what the lottery numbers are? I milled over a priest. That's kind of awkward. Okay, Saga is a pretty reasonable find here. I guess I'm supposed to... Maybe I was supposed to sack the Asmo. Yeah. I was supposed to block and then sack on the hammer. Not as good as against like top deck blacksmith skill exactly. Bit better against like a hammer. I think Nexus should have just killed me there. Yeah, I mean, my opponent's likely like, you know, never played this matchup and not entirely sure what lines to take. Why would they animate the Nexus? Yeah, you might be from the future. I'm just gonna Haywire Mite the hammer, right? I'm just gonna do this. Dude, getting to just like eat the Nexus here is insane. And they shame concede. What the hell? I would say doubters. I'm sorry, but also like maybe be believers next time. Doubters. Maybe be believers next time. You know, hard to feel too much sympathy for the doubters. Okay, well, we trophies. I kind of wish it was open to Fable. Skrelv. Yeah, they forgot the Hammer Loose is flying. That makes sense. But even then, the attack doesn't like really accomplish anything. Cool deck to trophy with. I might actually end the stream here. I might come back later for Dark Souls, but